Drinking water facility for villages. Availability of safe drinking water is a basic requirement for good health. Even today, people living in villages in our country have no access to this safe drinking water. Official figures report 22% rural families have to walk at least half a kilometer to fetch drinking water. Mostly it is the women who have to bear this burden. States like Manipur, Tripura, Odisha, Meghalaya, Jharkhand and Madhya Pradesh have a very high percentage of such families. The source of drinking water in these villages is uncovered wells, rivers, springs and ponds. Around 15% of village households are estimated to depend on these water sources. Also 85% of all drinking water resources in villages are based on underground sources of water. At present, only 31% of the rural population has access to tap water. In fact, only 4 states have brought 50% or more of the rural areas in India under piped water supply. The Supreme Court in this matter ordered the supply of potable water in government schools. Many of these states are yet to fulfill this order. In view of these above situations, there was a national consultation for drinking water provision that was held in Delhi from time to time. Issues on the progress of national drinking water programs were discussed. During these meetings, it was revealed that many states have failed to fulfill this objective and they have not even bothered to utilize the funds supplied for this purpose. These funds were allocated by the centre under the various heads of a National Rural Drinking Water Program. The purpose of this scheme was to provide potable water in villages. Further, government in the 12th five-year plan has brought new ideas in the National Rural Drinking Water Program. It is mainly to achieve the object of providing drinking water facilities to all the villages. One of the ideas proposed was to shift away from groundwater to the surface water. This would result on piped water supply. It will also minimize the use of hand pumps. This also ensured individual household connections to at least 35% in villages by 2017. Today, it is only 13% households which have connections. In order to encourage the villages to take water connections, accredited social health activists have been linked by the government. There is an incentive of 75 rupees that is provided to the accredited social health activist that was to motivate families to take water supply connections. Under the 12th five-year plan, the water supply has increased to 55 liters of water per capita per day, that is at a national level. In 1972, it was only 40 liters of water per capita per day. This plan, that's the National Drinking Water Program, aims to cover at least half of the population of India to get water within their household premises itself. This supposedly bridges the gap between urban areas and rural areas. It also increases the availability of drinking water to the rural areas. The Drinking Water and Sanitation Minister has advised the states to aim at least 55 liters of water per capita per day. This will hopefully enable higher level of household connections, reduce burden on women and girls in fetching the water. This also reduces the risk of contamination and health hazard from hand pumps and public taps. Along with the safe drinking water, maintaining the quality of drinking water has also become very important. This has been a major concern in villages. The water contamination is considered the most hazardous on health. The village water is affected by contaminants like arsenic, fluorides, iron, uranium, salinity and pesticides. There are still 2000 arsenic, and 12,000 fluoride affected rural habitations in the country according to one survey. The center is assisting states on this issue, and there is a 5% of National Rural Drinking Water Program funds that are provided to the states for this purpose. Cases like Japanese and acute encephalitis syndrome in the states are supported by this fund. A budget proposal of 1,400 crore rupees has been provided for setting up water purification plants. That was way back in 2014 itself. Higher priority was also given to arsenic and fluoride affected habitations. Part of the funding is to tackle bacteriological contaminations with a high rate of syndrome. The district affected are identified by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The states like Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir, Jharkhand, Kerala, Uttarakhand and Tripura have failed to avail this 5% water quality fund. They are yet to submit the proposal for this benefit. 9% of the diseases and more than 6% of deaths is attributed to the lack of potable drinking water and sanitation facilities in the world. Our country's scenario is still worse, as more than half the population does open defecation. This emphasis is being put under priority in the 12th five-year plan. The 12th five-year plan is a union, in a way, between rural drinking water supply and rural sanitation. The 12th plan draft document concentrated on two issues, namely drinking water supply and toilet maintenance. This is mainly to the government schools and Anganwadis. The latest data shows less than 44% government schools in villages have a drinking water facility. In order to increase this percentage for the existing schools, the National Rural Drinking Water Program supports running water supply. For the new schools, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is responsible for the setup. This will be enforced in the private schools also. The 12th five-year plan ensures minimum distance maintenance between the toilet systems and the water sources. Care is taken to improve the problem of nitrate contamination. A part of the National Rural Drinking Water Program expense will be set aside for integrated habitat and improved projects. These projects provide housing, water and sanitation facilities in the rural areas that will be in par with the urban areas. Another initiative is solar powered pump, and that is arranged in remote habitations. Those with the irregular power supply also can use the solar powered pumps. This was made available under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Wastewater treatment and recycling will be an integral part of the every water supply plan of this project. To conclude, India no doubt is becoming a water-stressed country, and that is happening very fast. Above everything else, there is a need to generate awareness among people. This awareness is about protecting drinking water sources from contamination, testing, conserving rainwater in tanks and ponds, and water recharges and water-saving devices, etc. This has to be done so that everyone in the country is able to get the basic facility of drinking water. Incidentally, it needs to be remembered that March 22nd every year is observed as a World Water Day. Now let us summarize the key points to remember in this essay. The 12th five-year plan brought new ideas in the National Rural Drinking Water Program. Accredited social health activists have been linked by the government to encourage the villagers to take water connections. The quality of drinking water is affected by contaminants like arsenic, fluoride, iron, salinity, uranium and even pesticides. The 12th Five-Year Plan document therefore concentrates on two issues, namely the drinking water supply and the toilet maintenance. A part of the National Rural Drinking Water Program expense is set aside for integrated habitat improvement projects.